So I just got done with my day trading session and I made $12,000 within the first 1 hour of market open. You can see right here, $12,000 only trading from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. market time, even though my time is 12:48 a.m. because I trade at midnight because I live in Australia. But in this video, I'm going to do a complete breakdown, my entries and exits and everything, all the good stuff of how I made this much amount of money in 1 hour from day trading. So let's first start with my game plan for the day that I post every single market open day on our Discord group. And I was trading on voice on this day. You guys can see a lot of members are congratulating me on this trade. I took this trade on voice and we caught a really good move on Tesla. Coming to my game plan, we can see right here that on this day, I was only watching two stocks, actually one stock and one market internal, the futures. I was watching ES futures because yesterday, even though we pushed towards the upside, the volume was not very high. We can see right here, we had a green day on ES, but the volume on this green day is very low. So that's why I was still watching ES for a push towards the upside if we get above the yesterday's high, but the volume was pretty lower than average. So basically, I was just watching ES to get a market direction, to get a sense of the overall market. And I only had one stock on my game plan because Tesla has been holding this downtrend for the past few weeks right here. And finally, yesterday, that was Tuesday this week, the last trading day, we broke out of this triangle with high volume. The volume increased, which is amazing to see. And then we pushed towards the upside. My game plan heading into this day was to watch the break of 707 or 702 because these are the two levels that were holding yesterday for a break towards the upside. The next levels we have are 707, 720, and then if we push towards a downside, I was also watching $680 level for a push towards a downside, but ideally I wanted this stock to push towards the upside because we broke out of this downtrend and I was liking it more towards the upside. I was only watching Tesla on this day because usually I watch around 2 to 3 stocks, maximum 5 stocks every single day, but on this day I was only watching Tesla along with the market internals. And the reason is because if we go to the weekly calendar section, you guys can see right here that Powell was supposed to speak at 9:30 a.m. right here today. That is Wednesday, 22nd June. He was giving a testimony in front of the Congress. So whenever he speaks, he is the Fed chairman. So whenever he speaks, the market is usually very, very choppy. And that is the reason when we have a major economic event, I like to reduce my watch list. I only like to watch 1 to 2 stocks so that I can focus on the price action of those stocks. So guys, we just broke down the daily chart of Tesla. Let's now take a look at the hourly chart. So as I told you guys, we broke out of this downtrend line, which we were holding for the past few months, for the past few weeks. We broke out of this trend line with high volume, then we pulled back to this trend line, and that's why I was watching for a hold of a level for a push towards the upside on the hourly chart as well. So on the daily chart, we had a strong green candle with high volume. On the hourly chart, we had a push towards the upside. We are kind of making a flag pattern, and the next day, I was watching it more towards the upside than towards the downside because on the hourly and on the daily chart, the higher time frames, the stock is still looking bullish. So we just saw the daily chart and the hourly chart of Tesla. Let's now take a look at the 1 minute chart and look at the pre-market action. As I told you guys, I was on voice on this day and I told the members of our Discord group that I will be watching the hold of $700 and $702 level for a push towards the upside right off the market open, because yesterday $702 level was holding yesterday. And even if you forget about the price action of yesterday, we can see cleanly in the pre-market, the $701.6, $702 level was acting as resistance right here. Then later in the morning around 9:15 a.m. it started acting as resistance again right here, and the same level started acting as support right before the market open. So right at the market open, I was watching the hold of $701 and $702 level for a push towards the upside, and my first trade was right here on this candle. On this trade, my entry was right here, right at the market open when I saw the hold of $702 level. I don't have a recording of this trade, but briefly we pushed under 702 and the bid stepped back above 702 and 703. I placed my order to get filled. I traded 710 calls, same week expiry contracts, and my fill price was 18.90. As soon as I entered this trade, my stop loss on this trade was the break of 701, or worst case scenario 700 towards the downside. I took 15 contracts. So I was expecting to lose around $1,000 to $1,500 on this trade if the stock goes against me, because my entry was really good on this trade. My first partial was on the same candle. You guys can see that after my entry, I took first 5 contracts out at a fill price of 20.70. I'm going to post a screenshot of my fills right at the top. My first exit was 5 contracts, 20.70. On the same candle, I took another 5 contracts out at a fill price of 20.50. And that's the benefit of reading the tape and looking at the level 2 right at the market open, because you guys can see my entry was at 18.90 and the premiums went to around 20.70. That is $200 a contract, approximately 10% within the first 1 minute of market open on the same candle, which is amazing reward to risk ratio. Let's look at the other partials on a screenshot, because I mark my entries and exits every single day and I paste a screenshot of that on my OneNote. So I took first 10 contracts out right here within the first 1 minute of market open. I took the remaining 3 contracts out on the next minute at 9:31 a.m. candle. I took another contract out after this consolidation. So you guys can see right here, we had a small red candle right here. If I zoom in a bit further, we had a small red candle after this bullish move towards the upside, but focus on the volume. The volume is very low on the red candle. So that is kind of good for the price action. If you have a bullish move towards the upside followed by a red candle on low volume, that is good for the price action. On the next push up, when we made a new high of the day, I took another contract out at a fill price of 22.74. I took 15 and I was out 14 of my contracts. On this pullback, when I saw this previous day close hold, so this dotted line is the previous day close. When I saw the hold of this level around $7-10 level, I added 10 more contracts at a fill price of 21.67, but unfortunately it went against me and I got stopped out of my whole position at a fill price of 20.67. Overall making around $2,000 on this trade. To be honest, I was up approximately $3,500 on this trade, but because of the addition and the trade went against me, I ended this trade overall with $2,000 in the green. So that was the small winner for the day. So now my big winner for the day was when I exited my position right here. I noticed that Tesla went under the VWAP with the market dropping. Then we quickly got bought back up above the VWAP. So this was another good entry right here. This was approximately the pre-market high right here. So we pushed above the VWAP, then we had a small red candle, we retested the pre-market high and then pushed towards the upside. So I missed this entry. I did not take this trade. I mentioned this trade on the voice chat on the Discord group, but I was not able to take this trade personally. But then we made a new high of the day right here, and the previous high of the day before that was approximately $715 level right here, which we made around 9:35 a.m. candle. On the pullback to 714 and 715, I saw that the market was kind of dropping, but Tesla was holding strong. So Tesla was holding strong around 715 and 714. On this trade, I placed my order to get filled on this candle at 9:51 a.m. candle. On this trade at 9:51 a.m. candle, I went for 730 calls because I increased my position sizing on this trade. I took 730 calls and I took 30 contracts at a fill price of 13.77. So I just went slightly out the money because I was expecting the break of 730, which was approximately the prior day high. So I was watching that level as my potential profit target. And my stop loss was the break of $712 level towards the downside, because the low of this candle was approximately 712.60. I was looking at a lot of buying around 712 and 713 on the tape, and we also closed like a doji on this candle. And even when we pushed down, again, if you guys look at the volume is not that high on this push down. We can see that we pushed towards the downside. Then on these two candles, the volume is not that high. That means sellers are still not interested in shorting this stock or maybe push it towards the downside because the volume after the breakdown was not that high. I took 30 contracts on this trade, so I was expecting to lose around $2,500 to $3,000 on this trade if in case I lose approximately $80 or $100 on contract with a stop loss under 712 on this trade. But this stock never reached my stop loss and we straight pushed towards the upside. I took my first partial right here after the break of high of the day at a fill price of 15.60. I took 15 contracts out. Let's now take a look at my exits again on a screenshot, because to be honest, I held this trade for approximately 30 minutes, even more than 30 minutes, which is kind of amazing patience on my end. I took first 15 contracts out at a fill price of 15.60. I took another 5 contracts out at a fill price of 17.25 when we made a new high of the day. We straight pushed towards the upside. I took another 5 contracts out on the next minute at a fill price of approximately 19.00. Then we were having some difficulty. As I told you guys, this dotted line is the prior day high, which is approximately 730, just above 730, which was my profit target. And that is the reason I went for 730 calls. That is slightly out the money, but I increased my position sizing on this trade because I was fairly confident about this trade. And we had high volume on the push up. low volume on the push down. So the volume analysis is also working out in my favor with a very strong tape in level 2. And then when we broke $728 level, to be honest, I was expecting a slight pullback because after this huge push towards the upside, I was expecting a bit of a pullback. That's why I took 2 more contracts out at a fill price of 19 and 19.75. I was just left with one last contract, and on this last contract, I just wanted to test my patience. I was trading on voice. I told my members on the Discord group that I am just testing my patience on this one contract. I don't care if this contract goes to break even because my entry is really good on this trade. Even if this goes to break even, worst case scenario, I'm gonna lose $500 of my unrealized gains, which was okay with me. But on the next push up at the break of 730, after the break of 735, I took my last contract out at a fill price of 22.00, overall making approximately $10,000 on this trade. So guys, let's now take a look at my PNL. My first entry was at 9:30 a.m. candle, and my last exit was at 10:25 a.m. candle. That means I only traded for the first 55 minutes of market open, making more than $12,000. On my first trade, including the partials, I went for 710 calls, making approximately $2,000. And on my second trade that I traded 730 calls, I sized up on that trade because I was fairly confident about that trade. I had a strong conviction on that trade, and I made $10,000 on that trade. Overall, ending the day with $12,000 in the green, which is an amazing reward to risk ratio day, first of all. And my entries and exits were really good on this day. That's it, guys. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my trading journey and to watch more awesome recaps like this one. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I already posted about this day a very good video on Instagram as well. So make sure that you follow me there. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.